Hello, magical souls, and welcome back to the Awake Revolution podcast. And I cannot believe that it's been around, just coming up to a year since the last episode. And last year, took a little break after doing quite a few episodes, thinking, it would just be a very short break, but life has just moved and shifted and expanded, and it felt necessary to just take a step back from some of the bits that I was doing, and I was moving forward in other areas. So I'm really, really excited to be back. It wasn't planned, but it just came through in the last couple of weeks. Now is the time to bring the podcast back. And if you've tuned into any of my episodes before, you'll already know that I love speaking and talking and sharing. There's always so much to share. So I am just excited. So welcome back if you're a previous listener. Welcome if you are a new listener. So today I'm just going to dive in, and I just felt the desire to talk about mission talk. And I suppose it's just to reconnect into this podcast, reconnect with you as well, and really just get into tapping into this energy of your mission, maybe opening something up for you in the process, but just bringing you back into the energy. And I'll share a little bit of what I've been up to as well. And I also want to talk a little bit about mission in itself, what it is, because sometimes we hear this word mission, and I know that I've had so many conversations with people I'm connected with, clients and other people online, and sometimes we get a little caught up in mission, meaning people say they don't know what their mission is, or they're trying to find their purpose. And really, I feel that if you're listening, if you're listening and tuning into this podcast or anything like this podcast, you'll be a conscious being. So you're conscious and you're more aware, let's say, than the average person on the earth plane. And we know that we've had a lot of changes over the last few years, and a lot of people have been awakening and stepping into more of higher perspectives and expanded ways of thinking. So if you're listening to this, I want to just start with reminding you that you are here on your mission as a conscious being. So I actually just recorded an email, my Friday email to my list, and every week I share several different things. One of them is one of my things that I channeled through the week, either to my clients or to someone close to me, and I wanted to share it in my email. The thing that I shared tonight actually was this reminder around you're here, just your presence here is so significant, and sometimes we don't realize. So when we're scrambling around trying to work out the mission or make it make sense, or maybe you are clear and you're just taking steps forward, and there are always things that come up, maybe we feel pulled off our path sometimes. Just the starting point with mission, I feel, and relating to what my guides are always sharing, is this idea, this knowing that you are already greatly assisting. So even if you just want to breathe that in just right now before we even talk about anything else, you being present here and just existing as the conscious soul that you are in your physical form, you're already partly, even without you knowing, you are on your mission. Because a lot of people, a lot of star seeds, way showers, light workers, don't even get hung up on the label. You could just call yourself a conscious soul, an old soul, who cares what we call ourselves? But a lot of us, and most of you, I'm going to say all of you tuning in, if these words find you, you made a decision to drop into the physical form very deliberately during current times. So you already decided that you were going to do that. So you come in with all of this wisdom and consciousness. So just by you being here is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So that is so important to know and remember. And it looks different. It can look different for each of us. So one of the things, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about what's going on in my mission right now, but for some of you, you're going to really know, because I know I'm connected to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of creatives, healers, psychics, whatever you want to call yourselves, who you're aware. So you might be aware of what it is that you're here to do, what you're here to bring in. But I know some of you, also are maybe asking the question and you're not fully feeling it and you're not fully sure. And maybe you don't recognize yourselves in any of those ways. So a message that wants to come through right now, I've got my guides here as always with me. It's to remind you that your presence, as we already discovered, but also knowing that there are a lot of things that are going to come in as you move forwards. So part of your path, maybe if that's where you are, is to just trust the unfolding, and to the encouragement is to really follow what is calling you, as in starting to release now those parts of your lives that don't resonate with you anymore. And this can be friendships, this can be what you like to do at weekends, or your spare time. It could be to do with what you even like tuning in now. And a lot of us have really shifted in the last year again, continuously, but again and again. And we're finding ourselves now with different preferences. And a lot of you, even in the last year since I've not recorded this podcast, I know that many of you have gone through so many changes and shifts, and you've gone through so many versions of yourselves. So know that this is part of the mission. And we came down to bring in higher consciousness. And so some of us are doing it in a more outward way. So my mission, as you know, you've probably tuned into me somewhere outside of this podcast, I'm very much here to do the inner work with people, and also the aligned action steps as well. But it's the inner transformation, the energy work, the cleaning up of the energy, often the release, the healing, the clearing, all of that kind of thing, but also to really bring through missions. So I'm doing a lot more work now with people to help them along on their journey, stepping into their missions, or expanding in that area. And so my mission looks very outward. So I'm channeling, and I'm talking, and I'm doing live streams, and I've walked the visibility path. So some of you listening might relate to that, and a lot of you will, I know, because you're in my community. But equally, some of you won't. And it's really important when we're talking about mission to know that there are many different ways that you can be here on your mission. So some people that I've connected with, their missions have been very related to their own inner growth, as we all are doing, but maybe they're creating a lifestyle. I know one beautiful soul I'm connected with, she's very much creating kind of going back into nature. She's always been connected, but she's really called to live in that way, like off the grid living. Eventually it's where she's going to go, most likely. And she's always had this knowledge and wisdom around nature and how to use it and how to work with it. So she's stepping more and more into that. And as a result, she's been letting go of a lot of old ways of being, people and places. And equally, I know other people who are on their missions in the way that, their job that they do could be a 9 to 5 typical job that's very different to the way I would work and a lot of my other clients, but their mission is very much to do with the home. And so they're building relationships and families, and they're developing their consciousness, and their mission is to help anchor the light into this planet, right? So you might look at them and you would not associate them maybe with being a way shower or these labels that we use, right, on the internet and elsewhere. But I want you to know, like, if you're listening to this, you're here on a mission. So I don't know, hopefully that feels encouraging and inspiring rather than pressured. But it's just to understand that you're here with purpose. You're here. And the way I like to look at it, even if you don't know fully, because that can be frustrating if you don't fully know what it is, but even if you don't, to know that you're here with intention, doesn't that feel better than the idea of why are you here? You just accidentally floated down into this earth plane? Of course not. Your soul very much made a very conscious choice, very, very conscious. Although a lot of us are joking now that we're saying, were we drunk when we signed the contracts to come here? Because why did we sign up to all these things and challenges? But of course, our souls understand why that is. So there's lots of different ways to tap into the mission. And okay, and what's coming through is an encouragement, and a massive encouragement to go bigger. So just taking a breath on that one. And this isn't necessarily for all of you. And of course, when I share these things, I really encourage you to use your discretion, because of course, if you're someone, for example, who's on a recovery path, you're recovering from an illness, or you're recovering from something huge, then this part possibly most likely isn't for you, but you may feel that parts of it are. So use your discretion when I share anything. But what's coming through for many of you is, whether it's now or sometime the next few months, is to go bigger. You're being called now to really step up into the next version. the next version of whatever it is that you're doing, being, creating. And even if you don't know, allow yourself to go with it, because it's the not knowing sometimes can hold us back. And then if we're trying to decide, oh, which steps should we take, which direction should we go, I'm feeling a call, I'm feeling this stir for more, which way shall I go? And then as soon as the logical mind comes in, you might have experienced this, where your logical mind will say, well, you need a plan, and if you don't know where you're going to go, then you need to just like stand still. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what that does is it closes the doors off to magic, possibility, manifestation, divine intervention, all the unseen stuff. And so how I tend to do it in life generally, more and more these days, is to allow myself to expand into, oh, I want this as a next level or something. I want to feel something. And then I start to move in that direction, and I don't worry about the how. I don't try and figure out, like, but how am I going to do this? I just decide this is calling me, and then I just let things kind of happen. But also I take action and I map it out when I can. But sometimes we want to leave enough doors open just to allow it to simmer, to marinate, because sometimes we get stuck in this uncertainty, and we think uncertainty means that this path isn't for us, this mission isn't for us, the next level isn't for us. And actually uncertainty is a huge part of our journey. And I think maybe we don't talk about that enough, because the world is full of, we talk about having certainty in life, right? And having a very clear vision and focus. And I'll just share with you mine. Like, I talk a lot about vision, and I might even, I guess, come across as very focused, and I take one step and I'm taking action. But a lot of my vision, I don't know. I know some of it. Like, I know that I'm here to make an impact. I know that I'm here to connect and communicate and channel. I know that I'm here to anchor in higher frequencies. I know that I'm here to teach stuff. I definitely know I'm here to work with people, like individually and groups. And I see certain aspects of my vision, but there is a whole load of stuff that's hazy. So one of the new things that came in for me this year was a kind of couple of months ago, probably a bit more, where I had the vision that kind of came in around this high level channel international training academy. And I had the idea, and the vision came in, and I didn't have a clue of what it was, or even if I could. And I had a lot of doubts and a bit of confusion around, this was like a plot twist. I wasn't really thinking of going all in that way with channeling, even though I am a channel, which is kind of funny. My logical mind had other ideas, but it came in, and then I didn't act on it. I just let it stir and sort of settle, and not even settle, it kind of stir and move around me. And as I just allowed it, what I didn't do, as I spoke about just now, like if I closed the door because I didn't know how I was going to do it, I kind of just would have killed the vision. I'm sure it would have come back, but it would have just been harder. So I just left the doors open, and I said, well, I don't know what this academy is going to look like. I don't know what I'm going to do. Can I even do this with people? Can I? I wasn't even sure. So I just let it be there. And then after a while, when the momentum comes, and a lot of this is divine timing, you will start to get the ideas drop in. We start to get the next vision come in, the next idea, the next desire, or something synchronistic might happen, right? Have you ever seen a video and it gives you some spark, or something orchestrates around you and it nudges you into a direction? Maybe you did know, maybe you didn't know. So there's lots of things we can do on our mission and on our path when we just let go and just be okay with being in the uncertainty of not necessarily knowing all of it. So there's a difference between that and complete confusion, because complete confusion can be the energy that really stops us. But I'm talking about being really in the energy of just like, who knows what's going to happen? So I'm a lot better now than I used to be. I used to be a woman with literally a 5-year spreadsheet, mapping out all her life. And my life took me on completely like opposite journeys to the one I'd planned. So these days, I just know that I can plan maybe, a little bit ahead of time, but I know that between now and next year, for example, I mean, I'll be in different versions of myself again, and who knows what I'll be tapped into. And it's kind of exciting and it's magical. But, sometimes we just got to ground into the uncomfortable that we don't always know. So that's my kind of message to you, wherever you are. And also to know that if you do know, and or if you feel like you can expand, the energy there is really allow yourself to expand, go bigger, dare to dream bigger. Because a lot of us, especially people I'm connected with, we've come here to really be brave, really be courageous, and really step into our multidimensional nature, which is beyond how normal people live. There's much more to our experience in this particular lifetime. It's why it's such an exciting time to be alive. So really, really give yourself that full green light to go bigger if you want. Step into the vision. Find someone if you need to work with them, myself, someone else that you're gravitating towards, someone that can hold the big visions as well, because often we need someone to be able to hold it, show it to us whilst we stabilize into it, and then actually work out some of the steps as well. So that's the message to, just tapping back into the mission. I'm feeling really inspired and lit up about mine. And I feel like there's a lot more to share. So I'm going to keep these episodes fairly short. To me, sort of 20 minutes is short. I could make these 2-hour episodes, but I want to make them kind of easy to digest. So I'll be back very soon with another episode, but it's just to really open up this space. So I would love to hear from you. If you feel free to message me, I think you can answer here. They've changed the format since I last did it, so I'm pretty sure you can comment here now about this episode. So feel free to pop a comment there. Let me know how you found this episode. Let me know what comes up, anything that you're focused on in your own mission. I'd love to hear so I can cheer you on. And very quickly, if you are interested in joining the High Level Channel International Training Academy, at the time I'm recording now, we're October, so the doors are opening. We begin on the 11th of the 11th. So check out, I will leave the links in the description here. You can check that out and get in if you want to before the 8th. Doors close on the 8th of November for enrollment. So there's still lots of time right now. And just relevant to what we were talking about, if you are wanting some clarity, and it's okay to be in the uncertainty, but I'm talking about if you want a breakthrough, you really are wanting a second pair of eyes on what you're doing. It could be your life, your business, your mission, or all three, and you just want that absolute clarity, laser focused breakthrough. It's very, very rapid when you step into this space with me and my guides, so we can do it very quickly. And typically what would take weeks, sometimes months, or even years for some people, we can do it in one session and get very in depth with some clarity, really get you that breakthrough. So it's called the laser focused breakthrough. So again, I'll leave the link somewhere in the description. You can check that out. And check that out. And again, message me at any point if you want any assistance or you're not sure what you're actually needing right now. And I also have, which is always open, my monthly membership. So that's a great option if you're not looking to invest like one-to-one or any kind of higher level investment right now, and you want something high value but lower cost. My monthly membership is amazing space, and we're doing like a lot of magic and power in there, and that's where I channel for my members directly, so we get a lot covered in that. So that's the Awake Revolution Soul Team monthly membership. So that's always an option if you want to really just tap into these energies and have some assistance on your mission. Again, life, business, mission, whatever areas. In the group, we've got a mixture of people who do work kind of similar to me, people who don't at all. They're focused on their relationships or their own growth, all different things. Yeah, all different kind of, it's quite a lovely mix of beautiful souls. So feel free, come and join us in there if you would like some, accountability, some practical stuff, some energetics, channelings, all the good stuff. Anyway, that is it for now. So yes, just give yourself permission to move forwards on your mission. Yeah, that kind of rhymes, I feel. That doesn't make sense in my mind, but I feel like that just rhymed, but that's okay. I'm going to bring through more and more, yeah, interesting stuff for you on this podcast. So today is more just like a little, just getting back into the swing of it, dropping in, doing some general talk here about mission. So we're going to get a little bit more into things in the next episode. So yes, let me know how you feel listening to this, and I send you so much love. And yes, I will talk to you very soon in the next episode.